So just for some clarifications first, the point totals actually work out good. My math was a little off. So the Air Cavalry Troop Squadron with the F-16 comes out to 6,362 points. Now, if you're going to use a densely populated terrain, then the Russians can get the maximum force that a defensive engagement gives them. They'll give them anywhere between 60% and 80% of the American force. So I'm considering this board densely terrain populated. So they get 80%. That's the maximum they can get for the defensive engagement. And they end up with 5,080 points. So it works out perfectly. And that is with 270 defensive preparations also. So it works out perfectly. Now in this game, I'm going to give you some more, little more of the mechanics that are going on and how to play, since we're using stuff we don't really use a lot. So in the game, in the board game, you have hexes that represent, hexes like cities, villages with multi dwellings in them, and then you have stacking point values. Well, in our game, we really don't need stacking point values because it's all 3D. However, for the buildings, each building on the board here can be anywhere from 1 level to 3 levels. For example, this one is 3 levels, and this one is 1 level. And my rule is you can have 2 squads per level, and that's it, max. Also, when I read the memoirs of field marshals and generals and stuff, what they would do is, as they're advancing somewhere, if they suspected that the enemy would be in a tree line or some defensive position, but they could not see the enemy, but they just suspected it, and Rommel did this all the time, he would tell his units to lay down a quick volley and fire into the area. And it would do basically 2 things. It would draw out return fire, then he would know somebody's there, or they would run. Or, after just a couple rounds, nothing would be happening. And then nobody was there. Well, in this game, we really don't do that. I mean, you can sight a target and drop, a rocket on it. But that's all you're not doing anything as far as the units go. In this game, they want you to target or have a target and a unit when you fire at it. So that's how we have to go about this game. Now, as far as the game's objectives, according to the defensive engagement do-it-your-own scenario rules in the back of the main battle tank book, in this engagement, the defensive engagement, 25% of your points, total points, should be objective points. So we have like 11,000 total points. So about 2,900 points should be objective. So what the objective points are is there's 5 buildings in this most important area right here. And these 5 buildings are going to be worth 300 points each, which the other 4 out here in front are worth 200 each. The bridges, 3 here, these are stone bridges right here, and there's 2 more, stone bridges here. They're all worth 100 points. These wood bridges are worth nothing. So that's the point total. So with the Soviets knowing that this is the most important spot, and the Americans, most of the defense is set up there. So just to point out, the Soviet Airborne Battalion crack troops, they have 3 companies. I put 1 company here. I put 1 company here. And I put 1 company here. Then they were attached an engineer company, and the engineer company's here. So basically we have a full company in this area, a full company in this area, a full company back here, a full company here, and a full company here. Each airborne company is equipped with 3 SPG-9 anti-tank guns. Now, unfortunately, there's no tanks coming here, but if helicopters do fly at nape of the earth or on the ground, the SPGs will fire at them with their GP weapons. And so I place those all in support of like the building. So I'll show you where the Soviets have been placed. So I wanted to show you this building first. It's right off the crossroads right there, the fork. So in here is the battalion headquarters. I put them here on this level just so I know they're in the, remember this is a 3-story building, so on the bottom level you can have 2 squads, in the middle you can have 2 squads, and on the roof, and there are 2 squads up there on the roof. So every 3rd squad in the platoon is carrying the SA-14. So we have both commanders for the Red Company, the 1st platoon here, and the battalion commander. We have a squad here, a full platoon in here, and the SA-14 is right here on the roof, which really means he's in the 3rd story, but they're up here just so we know. And when he goes to fire his AA gun, he'll step on the roof, take a fire, back in. Okay, so that's one full platoon. The 2nd platoon and 3rd platoon are back here. There's 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. That's 6 squads in there covering the back. So we are heavily defended. Now, this building is only 1 level. These buildings are 2, but with me putting the men on top, that means I'm on the 2nd story. That means there's nobody at the bottom floor right now. Again, if I want to move my infantry, I do have to give them move orders. They have to be given move orders to move up and down the floors. If you're up a level when you get in a firefight, then you do get plus to that. And for you, they call it hand-to-hand combat, but really it's just a firefight going on between squads that are within like an inch of each other. And it's kind of done a little abstractly. You're just going to roll a dice. You get modifiers depending on if you're squad plus, assault, what type of weapons you have, and if you're special forces. That's how the infantry combat, it's not overly complicated with that. This infantry company is also equipped with 1 anti-tank platoon. And you can see one, I put one here in an approved position, and it's guarding the overlook here. So any infantry trying to come in this area, can be shot at with that. And you can see behind it, I have some headquarters vehicles, infantry units in an improved position. These are hasty entrenchments. Again, these are sitting out there with the AA guns. So they're in pretty good defensive positions with the AA guns. Right here you can see some more improved position. Infantry, again, this is the engineer company, these squads here. And they're all set up. There's 2 men in this building here. And then behind it, in that wooded area, is some more infantry in entrenchments. Part of the 2nd platoon's SPGs are set up back here too. So they're all covering the areas in this area. So this area here you can see is really covered with a good zone of fire. Now I don't have to go into detail with the other squads, but they're all set up the same way here. And you can see units in the back in improved positions, entrenchments. I got an SPG for this 2nd company right here. There's 3 squads in here because this is a double story, so 1 can be on one level and 2 can be on another. This building's a single building. These guys are inside, so there's no really rooftop. You're just going to come out on the bottom floor if they want. So this whole area is set up. So we are covered pretty well all over this board. Now the Soviets were given 2 AA sections. Those are ZU-23s. One's here, and the other 2 are back here in the crossroads area. And the other 2 are back here in the crossroads. One there, one there. So right here, so the AA guns are really set up right here in the middle of the board. So 2 there and 2 there. So it's right here in the middle. So good luck with the air cav coming in.